All right. So what we're going to talk about today is how top agents use AI to dominate. This is an evolving talk because people are just discovering what AI can do. And I got to be honest with you, I am shocked every day I use it. And I just cannot tell you how this is going to change our lives and everything. And so let's get into it. Just as a summary or an intro, my name is Mark Choey. I'm a real estate agent. All right, just like you. I was the #2 condo agent in San Francisco, and I built a brokerage, a little brokerage called Climb Real Estate. We grew it to a top 250 brokerage in the U.S. and we sold it to Realogy. After that, I kind of went to retirement and I built Highnote. But I also, a little bit of my background, I did a master's in electrical and computer engineering in AI as well. I specialized in AI back in the 90s. And then I became a real estate agent. So that's a really interesting career trajectory. But after I sold Climb, I built Highnote. We taught hundreds of agents how to win using tech while I was at Climb, and I wanted to continue that mission with Highnote. And Highnote is an interactive listing presentation tool, does more than just listing presentations, does buyer presentations, recruiting, all sorts of marketing and sales use cases. And that's what I've been working on for the last 5 years. Now, AI. This is probably mankind's most profound invention ever, and it's growing at an unprecedented pace. At smartphones, I think honestly, AI is probably bigger than all of these inventions put together. And I'm not exaggerating at all here. And so it's hit us hard. And to be honest with you, I have not even scratched the surface in so many ways. I mean, I have, but I'm trying to make a point is that it's so deep and it's hitting us on every single front and every single aspect of our daily lives. And today, I hope we can give you a little bit of an intro how you can use it today to do your job in real estate, because I am now using it a ton. Now, what is it going to transform? Well, it transforms your marketing functions. Almost all of your marketing functions, social media, video creation, web pages, email copy, listing copy. I'm going to show you some examples. Lead gen, management of these leads, nurturing, following up with these leads, managing your CRM. And I got to tell you, CRMs today, the way they're built, are going to die. And there's going to be a new form of CRM to use AI or AI first. You're just talking to the system and not having to manage lists and tagging and categorize. Client and transaction help. I use all the time to help with managing my clients, answer questions, getting back to doing depth analysis, researching paperwork. I'm going to show you exact and practical examples of how I use it and tools I use them for. There's a billion tools now. You got ChatGPT, Gemini, Jasper, Claude, Copy Data, Perplexity, Grok, Manus, DeepSeek. So many different ones. Who's got time to try them all? Try them all. I don't have time, but I've tried a lot of them, and this is where I'm explaining to you what the differences are and which ones to focus on. Now, LLM. What is an LLM? Well, it's a large language model, and I'm going to explain to you what that is in one slide. However, the one thing you need to know is that ChatGPT dominates. Okay. If you're going to use one tool, just jump on ChatGPT. Why? Because everyone's using it and you need to be proficient on it. And there's not even a close second. Claude and Gemini, Google's Gemini, are a close second. And then you have Meta, they have their own, Llama, and Perplexity AI, and Grok, Elon Musk. And they're all have cool things about them. They're all a little bit different, but fundamentally, from a 10,000-foot view, they almost do the same thing. Some are better than others at writing, some are better than others in video creation, but they're changing and they're evolving. And all of a sudden, one Grok will, release one thing and it's better than Perplexity at another. Perplexity releases one thing and all of a sudden ChatGPT copies it. Just get on one of them. Chat, Gemini, mess around with Claude, go play around on Twitter with Grok, and do some searches with Perplexity. You have to play around with all of them. But use Chat and Gemini if you want to get started. Now, language models. What the hell is a language model? Well, it is modeling language, the human language. It could be English, Chinese, or Greek. It doesn't matter. But what it does is it predicts the next word. Okay, you're like, well, how the hell is it going to predict the next word? Well, it learns. It learns that after you say the letter I or the word I, there's only a few words that could come after I. And it could be I am, I want, I go. Or it could be, just a few cases, and it predicts. Well, how does it predict? Well, it analyzes patterns. It understands, it's starting to learn and understand what you're trying to say based on what you said before. So then it will predict the next word, right? So it predicts the next probable word. It's getting so good now that 95, 98, 99% of the sentences and things that it actually generates actually make sense. Now, you heard of hallucinations, right? And so that's when it thinks it's predicting the right word, but it's not. Okay. And that's where these chat models and language models are getting into trouble when they're saying stuff that doesn't make any freaking sense. Now they're getting better and better. And but this is what they do. They're just guessing the next word, but the guess is pretty dang accurate now. And so again, let's talk about the ecosystem, large language model ecosystem. ChatGPT, it's a great general model that everyone should be using, drafting emails, researching, Googling. Gemini, Google, they are really rolling out a lot of great products, and it's integrated with the Google tools, Gmail, Calendar, etc., Google Drive. So if you in the Google ecosystem, I would suggest bouncing between Google Gemini and Chat. Claude, great for writing. It's great for coding too, programming, but none of you guys are programmers. But it's really great for creative writing. So give that a shot if you want to have a different result than ChatGPT. Meta, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger. It's all built into the tool, so that's how you access it. Perplexity is another cool one, and I like this for if you're doing searching or you're doing researching, because it provides these sources and cites the sources pretty prominently. Chat added that later to copy Perplexity's feature of providing sources. But I bounce between Perplexity and Chat as well. Grok, I do it just because I'm not counting out Elon. He's a crazy mad scientist. And when I'm on X, I see Grok in the panel there, and every once in a while I'll go in there and try it out and see what it can do that other apps can't do. But it's really great for accessing real-time news, right? Why? Because X is the platform for news, real-time information and news. So if you want to find out what's going on, ask Grok. And analyze, hey, what's going on with this issue? Is this real or fake? Try to use Grok, play around. And Notebook LM. Google has this other cool product called Notebook LM, and it's great for deep research and learning about things at a very deep level. And I'm going to give you a demo of that as well, and how you can use that and how I use it in real estate. All right. Now, AI agents. Some of you guys probably heard of what an AI agent is. So think of it this way. In chat, you generally use it for a single task. Hey, can you do one thing for me? Or can you look up one thing? Now, for AI agents, there are more complex tasks, maybe multiple steps. So here's an example of how I used an AI agent recently to do something. Please look in this folder. There are 3 renter apps with 2 applicants per application. Can you evaluate all the applicants and put all 6 people on the table, group the applicant pairs together, and evaluate who the best applicants are? Believe it or not, the AI agent tool I use gave me a great summary of these applicants. These were renter apps, renter applications, and I used Manus for that, manus.im. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So again, agents are for more complex tasks, multi-step tasks, and these are coming, and there are already a bunch out that are fantastic. All right, some use cases for AI. Streamlining your operations, enhancing your productivity, period. Agents, team leaders, and brokerage owners and managers. Everyone of these personas can use AI to improve what their goal is. Agents are for selling and managing clients. Team leaders are for supporting, growing the sales of their agents, as well as brokerage owners and managers. You can hire fewer people or have your staff do more with less. Now, listing marketing assistant. Now, this is the most obvious thing or most obvious use case for ChatGPT and the large language models. But I'm going to show you what I did, and I was kind of blown away, actually. Now, what I said was, hey, I have a loft listing, okay, live work loft listing in Rincon Hill. And I said, write me a property description of this loft at 18 Lansing 402. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot live work loft with one-of-a-kind roof deck. I can't just give it that prompt, right? Because it's like, well, I don't know anything else about it. So I uploaded photos. ChatGPT, you can upload photos now. So what it did was very interesting for me. It wrote this bullet point. It said, hey, there are 2 generously sized bedrooms, including a primary suite with direct access to outdoor space. And I really started questioning ChatGPT. I said, wait a minute, how do you know? How did you actually know there was a primary suite with direct access to outdoor space? Now, as you know, with ChatGPT and all the language models, they hallucinate. You need to double check everything. So I just started questioning it. And I said, where did you get these specifics? Did you look them up? I didn't upload an image of the primary bedroom, right? What I did was I just grabbed the first 10 images, and I thought it could actually read all 80 images. There's limits. It only takes 10. So what I did was I tried to drag all 80 in. It didn't take 80. It just took the first 10. And the first 10 were all of the roof deck and the upstairs. So I said, how did you know that the bedroom connects to the outdoor space? Okay, and this is what it said. I was blown away. Here's how I inferred it. But to be clear, it was an educated guess, not verified fact. But it says, in the rooftop photos you uploaded, there's a bed that's visible through the large sliding glass doors leading directly onto the private deck. And I said, really? And it said the bed is larger and appears to be a queen or a king, and the room looks more spacious than a typical second bedroom or office space. I said, really? In most 2-bedroom, 2-bath loft layouts of this size, the bedroom with direct outdoor space is typically the primary suite, both for livability and resale value. I said, really? Are you sure? And so while I couldn't know with certainty, I reasoned. This is what ChatGPT said to me. I reasoned that the room directly opening to the private deck was most likely the primary. All right, so this is what the image was. Okay, this is the image I uploaded. And it basically looked through the window and it saw a queen size bed in there. And it said, I think this is the primary bedroom. I was really shocked and blown away. Tell me if you're not shocked by this too. I was really shocked that it actually could do this. And so it basically looked at the images and it analyzed it, okay? Saw a bedroom in one of the windows. There wasn't even a clear. I didn't even notice this, that it could see this. And it read the image and said, you know what? I think this is the primary bedroom. I'm going to say it's a primary bedroom. And I was really actually blown away, and it kind of opened my eyes and mind. Like, this is what AI can do today. Imagine what this is going to be able to do in the future, right? And I'm in future in like 6 months from now, or or even less. But it could do this today. You upload the images, and it will write you descriptions based on what it sees in the image. And I was like, this is just absolutely incredible. Now, what else can it do? Well, you can edit, enhance, and virtually stage your image. Virtual staging has been around for decades, seemingly, but it's getting so easy now to do it just in Chat GPT alone. So what I did was I said, hey, let's add people to this image enjoying wine on the furniture and make it right before sunset. Let's just do that, see what it can do, right? And here's what it did. This is the image it made. It put people in there on top of the deck enjoying wine right before sunset. Okay, this is chat can do this alone. So you can make it adjust lighting, add landscaping, virtually stage, and I just did that just in the chat window. The free, I don't even know if you could do it in the free version, actually. Someone try that. But you gotta pay for chat at something. You got to pay for one of these things because I was blown away. Now, this is the original thing. I said, all right, now make it an evening shot. So there's a sunset view, right? A little dark. It could have been more lit up. But then I said, add a fire pit, add heat lamps to it, right? It did that too. Let's see, right here. Add a fire pit, heat lamps, and I said, add more lights on the buildings. So it started lighting up more of the windows in the background. It added lights below. I was really flabbergasted actually that it could do this. I mean, think about the time you can save by not having to stage this, right? And yeah, and the rental market, Craig, it's funny. The rental market is this is a rental unit, right? And the rental market in San Francisco, this is an aside, is so hot. I posted this on a Sunday at 12:30 p.m. I had 5 requests to see it by 4 p.m. Showed 5 people, had 1 applicant already that night. More leads were coming in. I scheduled another showing for the next day around 3. Another 5 people or 4 people came, 2 more applicants. I had 3 applications, 9 showings on this rental within 24 hours, basically, roughly 30 hours. I've never seen a rental market so hot in San Francisco, and that's a whole nother thing. Now, all right, what else did I use AI for? Well, I used it to become an instant neighborhood expert. Okay, and here's the scenario: a friend who lives in this neighborhood called San Carlos in the Bay Area. I've maybe been to San Carlos 3 times in my life, maybe 5 times, and he wants me to help him with advice on selling his home there. I've barely been there. I don't even know anything about it. So I said, all right, let me do some work on it. Now, I needed to understand the subdivisions in this town. So I asked Manus, okay, to, hey, help me understand, the neighborhoods of San Carlos, help me understand the pros and cons, help me understand the schools. And so what it did was it started going on this rabbit hole chase of everything about San Carlos, all the neighborhoods and all the schools. And you see what this is it's doing the it's responding to me here, and it's actually surfing the internet for me. Now, agents, what they can do is, and there's many, many tools like this now where they have their own browser and they will do the searching for you. And it's literally going to the website, reading it, and navigating the links, right? And then going through and doing the research for me and compiling all the information for me. Sure, I could do this myself, but how would you normally do it? You go to Google, you search best schools in San Carlos, best neighborhoods, and you have to read it all. You know what? We don't got time for that, right? AI can help you search and synthesize the information and give you a nice report so that you don't need to do all the research because you don't know what site to go to. it's this site, that site. Maybe you look at 5 different sites and spending an hour trying to research this. But instead, you give it to an agent like Manus, and have it go research. Now, chat could give you an answer too, but I wanted to do a more in-depth analysis and look at more sources and give me something better. Now, I'm going to show you how I use Notebook LM to do this because it's a lot of information. So Notebook LM, I turned into my neighborhood coach. So what I did was I just uploaded 3 websites. Now you could upload other things like HOA docs, community reviews, area articles. And what Notebook will do is it'll turn all that information that you got, that you gave it, into something that you can be summarized, creates podcasts for you. Yes, a podcast and a video of the material you gave it. It could be anything you want. Now I'm going to show you this here, what it did. Now, so I uploaded 3 websites. These were 3 websites, and there were 3 different real estate agents, right? So, and it created this guide for me. Great. So what can you do with that? Now, I made it give me an audio overview. And let me share my sound here so that you can hear what it did. So I made it give me an audio overview, and let's hear what it says.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a trip down to the San Francisco Peninsula
Come on, you can do it.
to check out a city with, well, a
All right, it's a little
pretty
glitchy.
bold claim. We're going to see if San Carlos...
Anyway, if my internet was faster, this would be going on
It's
and
had
on about San Carlos. Oh, it's a
a whole
video.
journey. It started way back as a little spot
So
called the town of Laurel. Then it became an agricultural hub. We're talking orchards, flower fields, the
it
whole deal.
explained to me the history of the city, and it gave me a summary of what this city was about. And this was great. If I'm driving or I'm doing some busy task, I could just listen to it, right? Before you would go on YouTube and try to find something, but I actually gave it the sources. And I also, it has this great feature, podcasts. Listen to this.
Imagine finding that sweet spot, a place where life is kind of quiet, serene, but you've still got all the energy and opportunity of city life nearby.
Yeah, like blending history with modern vibes.
Exactly. It's this perfect balance that so many people are looking for.
It creates this podcast of 2 people talking about the subject at hand. And it also created a mind map for me, right? San Carlos, overview, neighborhoods, education, health, transportation, etc. And you could click on it, it'll take you to the stuff. I mean, I was blown away. So Notebook LM is really good at studying, researching deep topics. I uploaded my continuing ed studies. I had to renew my license recently, so I just downloaded all the materials and I just said, take this boring stuff, make it more interesting. I uploaded it all, and I just was listening to 2 people in a fake podcast telling me all about I don't even remember the topic, asbestos issues in homes. And it just allowed me to just attack the information from a different angle and learn better. Now, some questions. Why would you use Manus IM? Well, chat before did not have an agent tool. And, chat maybe spit out, you used to be able to just spit out one answer. Hey, here are the best schools. But I didn't really trust chat all that much in terms of the answers it gave me. So I just used an agent to kind of go deeper and do more research, etc. But you could have used chat, but I wanted to go a little bit further, basically, and to get more than just chat. Now, yeah, and Jeff, I used Manus, believe it or not, to he says maybe you could have Notebook LM take the exam for you. No joke. I had Manus help me take one of my exams, and I'm gonna explain to you what I did. I told Manus, so this is one licensing section, and it was a section that was really boring and something I didn't really need. It was something around, you know, I totally forget something or that was not super practical to what I wanted, and I was just like, I just want to take the exam. But with this course, I could not skip to the exam. What I had to do was it was timing me. I could not start the class and then take the exam right away. They wanted to see that I was actually reading each and every page, and it was timing me. I could not get through the exam, the course materials in less than 2 hours before I could take the exam. So it was timing me. So I started going through it. I started clicking the pages and not reading the material. And and then I said, oh, this is ridiculous. I gave it to Manus. I said, Manus, go and navigate through all these pages and pretend you're reading all these pages and let me know when you're done with it. And I didn't have to explain to Manus exactly what to do. I just gave it the link. And I said, go check the final exam as well and look at the timer and go through all the pages and make sure you satisfy that timer. And then let me know. Then I'll take the exam. And believe it or not, I just gave it a single link. And it let me, I had to log in, and so it would yell at me and say, hey, come to my screen and log you in. I logged in, and then it started navigating all the pages. It said, all right, I see all the sections. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check the final exam page. It says you have 2 hours. You have to read these materials for 2 hours. Then it went back and started reading the materials for 2 hours. It went through each page in each section. I did not have to explain to Manus how to do this. It read it and knew. And then at the end, it told me, okay, I'm done. I'm done reading. You can take the final exam right now. Then I went and took the final exam, and I, of course, did well in it. But I was blown away at what it could do. So you're joking. Maybe you could have Notebook LM take the exam for you. It can. Not Notebook, but AI can do it. And it can. And Manus, I didn't want it to take the exam for me because that's obviously blatant cheating, but I did want it to just pretend to read the material for me that I already knew, and so I could take the exam. So yeah, it can do things like that. Now, what else did I have it do? Contract, paperwork handling, and transaction management type of tasks. So what I did was I got an offer from a client, I mean, an agent, and I said, hey, I want you to summarize this offer. It was a 30-page offer, right? Create a one-pager summary with all the key terms, separate the documents into individual files, double check the initials and signatures, and summarize this all for me, okay? And so what did it do? Well, it did exactly that. It made a fact sheet. It separated the documents for me. This is what it did, okay? Here's your comprehensive package for this offer, one-page summary, right? And if I clicked on this, it will show you exactly a summary of the entire offer, all the contingencies, all the terms. I'm going to show you what it did. It split this document up into all of the documents that it needed. Split the 19-page offer packet into all of the separate pages. The disclosure, the CCPA. If you're in California, there's a million documents you need to have. Purchase agreement, buyer's investigation advisory, contingency removal form, etc. And then it kept on going, and it checked that everything was signed. It said, yes, the buyer, both of the buyers, the trustees of the trust, signed all the forms and initialed each page of the purchase agreement. And it said, no seller initials or signatures appear in the purchase agreement. Well, obviously, because I just received the offer, but it was able to confirm this, and the offer is not yet accepted. And then it said the buyer already removed some contingencies, and the seller hadn't initialed it for this. Now, you would typically need a human to do this, right? Obviously, but it did it for me. And here's what the summary was. Here were the key parties. Here was the offer price, the initial deposit, and the first loan, the cash down payment, close of escrow. This offer expires in 24 hours. The seller credit, there's a seller credit for the buyer commission, the buyer's costs, contingencies. It gave me a total summary of everything. I double checked all of this, and it was all correct, right? I was actually like, wow, pretty incredible, right? That it could do that. But it saved me a ton of time in dealing with the paperwork. The offer, I use Manus for this. Okay? And I'm going to give you a referral for that to get some free credits. Now, here's what to $4 million buyer in the Bay Area was coming from LA, and they wanted to look at the Bay Area. Now, the catch was this buyer was from mainland China and did not speak good English. So I could speak Chinese, but it's been a while, and I had not conducted a transaction in Chinese in a while. So I said, "Oh my God, how am I going to brush up on my Chinese, especially in real estate?" Right? I could call some of my Chinese friend agents and maybe talk to them and try to, try to learn some words, or I could Google it, whatever. I said, you know what? Let me ask Chat. Hey, Chat, can you speak Chinese? And of course, it answered me, yeah. And, it asked me which dialect. And I said, Mandarin. And so, yeah, of course it did. And so I said, well, okay, great. I'm getting ready to meet a Chinese buyer from mainland China with a $2 to $4 million budget, but my Mandarin is a little rusty. Can you pretend to be a buyer from mainland China and role play the whole conversation with me? And lo and behold, it did. This is what it started doing. It started pretending it was a Chinese buyer, right? I started talking to it, and I started like speaking in Mandarin, and it would correct me. It would tell me, give me help and suggestions. It would use words that I didn't know, so I would pause and interrupt it and say, "Hey, what does that mean?" It would tell me, and then I started speaking to it. And then when I started speaking to it, um, it started responding to me, pretending it was a buyer. So it was really just like, I mean, I'm like, I don't even know what to say, right? You could do sales training with this. You could pretend to, meet with a difficult seller or a difficult buyer who's complaining about their commission, and role play scenarios, to practice beforehand. And, I don't know if anyone has done this, but, if you haven't, you have a training coach right in your hand as well, right? So really blew me away as well. All right, tenant screening. Now, remember before I showed you uh, the application where I got all these applicants for a loft, and there were 6 applications that came to me. I used Rent Spree to go through get the applications, but they're long reports. I didn't have time to like read them all, and well, I mean, I had the time, but I was just like, hey, let's see if AI can do this. And I downloaded all the documents, okay, and I downloaded all the documents, the reports, and I put it in a spreadsheet. I'm sorry, I put it in a Google Drive, and I separated them out. There were 3 total applications. Each application had 2 applicants for each application. So not only did I have to review 3 different rental applications, which is very unusual. Usually you just get one. But I also had to check for each of the applications, 2 different people applying for the thing. And I had to summarize it all and evaluate it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a pain, right? Now, it's an agent's job, obviously, to do that. But I said, why can't AI help me with this? And as long as I double check it, why not do this? So I'm going to replay this. I said, hey, please review this. Okay. And this is what I want you to do. Check for the employment length, income, credit score, background check, number of pets, where they live now, how much they pay in rent now, and when do they want to move in. And so I started doing that. I started looking it up, right? I started going through everything, spidering the folders, and then I said, okay. Also, so then it started to go down this thing and go through everything. I was interacting with it and it was asking me some questions. Um, and then I said, put them all in a spreadsheet, in a table. And what I want you to do is group the applicants per application. So make 3 different columns: application 1, application 2, application 3. And in each of the columns, put both applicants there, right? Group them together. So you had 6 different applications to look at. It goes through everything and it pulls out all the information. And I also asked it to do more. Put in like the HR contact, put in the landlord contact and the references, and summarize it all. Put it into a big table, okay, for me. And it goes blah, 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 blah. I didn't ask it to evaluate for me, okay, but I just said summarize them and put them all on a table. And so what it did was, okay, was sort of mind blowing to me. It did all this, right? So applicant pair 1, applicant pair 2, applicant pair 3, pulled it out. What they all made, their names, who their HR contact is, and their emails, credit scores, right? And it started telling me, it didn't just pull out the score. It said 795, excellent, right? It said payment history, put all the payment history information in here. It gave me which people missed some payments and there's some concerns, current residents, landlord contact, number of pets, personal references, and then it combined the income of these applicants. Okay, it looked at each of the individual applications and it put it all together. Okay, it gave me the income to rent ratio. Okay, it told me this applicant pair made 7.5 times the income, the rent. This one made 5.5 times, and it also told me that's very good. And it also said this one, 17.5 times, that's exceptional. It went through strengths, and concerns for each of the applications. And it gave me a ranking. It said I would do applicant pair 1, applicant pair 3, and then applicant pair 2. Now, Shauna, you said, can it use Excel? Yeah. It did it in Google Sheets. You can make it do it in any Excel document and just spit it out and give you a summary right there. And then I said, okay, great. Make me letters, make me emails so I could email each of the HR contacts and the land references and the personal references. And it made me all these letters, these email letters. I just copy and pasted them and emailed them off. And I was like, this would have taken me maybe an hour to put together. And it took AI about 10 minutes to do this. Now, of course, I had to double check everything. It wasn't perfect. It made a couple errors here and there, but for all intents and purposes, it was spot on. It was spot on. It was pretty incredible. So it got the email addresses from the application itself. So tenants put the applications and made their applications, but Rent Spree puts out this huge summary in one big, like 20-page PDF. And I could have read each of the PDF reports and gone through it. Okay, here's the email. I'll put it in the spreadsheet. All right, and this one. Here's the email, put it in the spreadsheet. Or I could have hired my virtual assistant to do it. I didn't need to do that anymore with Manus. I just subscribed to Manus, told Manus to do it. Okay, pretty incredible. So what is this? What is AI useful for? Well, for assistant work, right? Virtual assistant work in this particular example, right? Or doing an agent's job in a lot of ways, right? Evaluating the applications, summarizing it, putting it in a nice report, following up with HR and landlord and personal references, or at least giving me emails so I could send them. But pretty soon, and I'm sure you can do it now, the AI will just email them off directly, right? The tenant screening platforms can do it, I'm sure. And yeah, I'll get into that about Manus. About $30 a month. It's just a no-brainer. But I'm going to give you a link to get free credits for it. Now, more Manus stuff. Okay, I'm a big Manus fan. And so here's what I did. I was trying to post a social media video. How much time do we have? Wow, we have not much time left. I was trying to make a social media post, and I needed a video of the neighborhood in the peninsula. I didn't have one in the peninsula, being in San Francisco Peninsula. All right. So what I did was I said, find me vertical videos of houses in the peninsula for posting on IG. So what did it do? It started searching the entire internet. It went to Pexels, it went to TikTok, it went to Shutterstock, and looked for all of the videos they could find, vertical video, videos of the peninsula, right? This is it looking right here on the right. Searching and searching and searching. Now, sure, you could do that too, right? But it saved me so much time. Now, it couldn't find it, so what it said was, I'm going to make it for you. And so this is what it made. Okay, it made me these videos. Now, these are Victorian homes in San Francisco. And I said, well, that's not what I asked for. I said I needed videos of the peninsula. And here's a home in North Bay near Tiburon area. Not exactly what I wanted. I said, hey, don't do that. Do the peninsula. And I said, I gave it exact neighborhoods. And I said, all right, Atherton, San Mateo, and Hillsborough, and skip the Victorian and Tiburon Marin properties. And so he said, okay, I'll do that. I started looking around, and this is what it did. It made me this video. This is a video of a home that looks exactly like it's in Atherton, California, and it's on the peninsula. Here's this other video it made. This looks like a Hillsborough home. Okay. And then it made me this. This is exactly what a home in San Mateo, in parts of San Mateo, would look like. So what did it do? It searched the internet, it looked for homes in these areas, and then it made me a photorealistic video of a home in that area. This is exactly what a home would look like down in these parts. I was actually blown away by this too, because I didn't ask for it to make it, but it did. So Manus just kind of goes above and beyond um, the job, and I'm not saying Manus is the only thing that will do that. There are many agent platforms out there. Even Chat GPT now has an agent tool, but it just came out with it. I haven't tested it fully. I love the Manus. I've been using it for a ton of stuff. I mean, tell me that's not incredible, right? Now, uh, other things, Highnote. Build great listing presentations and buyer presentations using AI. We're adding tons of AI assisted features in here. This is a great tool you can use to build listing presentations and buyer presentations that win using AI. All right, what other tools can you use? What else can you do? Comps. Okay. Now, back to this scenario here. My friend in San Carlos, he has a home at 74 Cedar. I don't know anything about the area, right? And I wanted to get recent sales. So here's how AI responded. I used Chat, I think, or Manus for this. I can't remember. Now, so what it did was it pulled, at the end of the day, it gave me a great CMA, and that was within 0.25 miles of the property. And if at first it gave me like a wide price range. And then I just started arguing with it, give me more details, narrow it down a little bit. And actually at the end, it gave me something really usable. So the comps are too wide a sales range. Can you narrow it down by size and bedroom count of the target property? And so what it did was, yeah, I understand. I achieved a variance of only 50 to 100K in the sales in San Carlos, and I used Manus for this. And it focused on properties with 4 bedrooms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it gave me comps between 2.95 million and 3.65. And this is what it gave me. It refined market analysis, right? And I didn't need to use Connect MLS. It just went to Zillow and Redfin, and it told me what it sold, when, gave me some addresses, and gave me a whole report. Now, would I use this to pitch a seller? I would use it as a starting point, right? But I just wanted to get a general idea of the area and give me some quick comps because I didn't have time before I was meeting my friend. I just wanted to get an understanding, and this is what it did. It totally gave it that to me. And it was pretty incredible what it could do. Now, he also asked me, okay, recommendations to improve the home. All right. And it said, give me advice on what to do at the front of the house. Right. Now, I could, of course, look at that and say, yeah, you need to do this and this and this. But I was in a rush and I said, hey, look at this picture and tell me, give me recommendations for the most cost-effective way to upgrade the curb appeal and saleability of this home. And this is what he gave to me, this picture of the home, okay? And I looked at it myself and I said, it needs some work. Well, it needs some green, right? That railing needs to go, right? Maybe that brick needs to be repainted. I don't know. Let me ask my Chat GPT assistant or Manus assistant. Let's see if it can give me anything better. And I just gave it one image, and this is what the answer was. Okay. Well, based on the provided image, I think you should do this. Enhance the front door, right? Give it more color. Maybe repaint this thing. I would update maybe the hardware of the door. Landscaping. I would put some garden beds in. Planting, layered paint planting. Maybe I would enhance the pathway. Maybe the tree care. Maybe I would put a better tree in there. Make it nice. Garage door update, right? Maybe do this, do that, and then etc. And then I was like, great, that was very helpful. Thank you. And then chat said this, you gotta add some green, tree trimming, maybe fresh mulch, highlight the entry. And then it also said, you need to wash that driveway or do something with it, right? And then it told me some of the most cost-effective priorities, etc. And then it asked me, do you want me to mock up a photo for you? And I said, yeah, sure. Let's see what your photo is going to look like, right? And I also asked Manus to do the same thing. Can you render the image of the house to show me what it would look like? This is what Manus came up with. Now it didn't get the door right, it didn't get the front right, it didn't get this, but it painted the garage. It said, make it gray. And then it added all this landscaping in here, right? I said, all right, that's cool. That's awesome. But this is the original. This is the original image. This is what Manus put in here, made that image like that. And then this is what chat did. It had something similar, but it added some pop on the door. It kept the garage door white. But I was just like, I was really sort of shocked that it actually is at this level where it could actually try to make you some rudimentary ideas. Now, what it did was it straightened out the sidewalk path from the front door to the sidewalk, right? The walkway. Because you see here, it's not straight. And when I met them, okay, this is what they said to me. We'd like to straighten this path actually from the stairs to the sidewalk. And I said, yeah, that's what I thought too. And then it also said we wanted to redo the driveway. And both Manus and Chat said you need to redo something with the driveway. It needs to be cleaner because it's too craggy, etc. And it also suggested green. It's exactly what I would have suggested. I wouldn't have put these plants like this, but it's a great idea. Why? Because it already has rocks and mulch here. So to make it cheaper, just sticking these plants strategically here is a super inexpensive way to do that. It also told me to give some pop to the door. And this door, you really can't see. It is kind of reddish already, but it said it needs more pop. And it also got rid of the railing for me. Unfortunately, it redid the whole front. Doesn't look like that exactly. But I got the idea, right? I got the idea. So I came to the meeting armed with some information about what to do next. I was really impressed what it could do. Okay, we're wrapping up here, but Manus, if you're interested in Manus, scan this. Maybe I could copy this link for you guys too. And it's, you don't have to pay, you get free credits, but if you want to do something more, you're gonna have to pay. But this gives you 1,000 free credits to do things. Try it out. I got free credits from someone. I tried it out and I bought the thing because it was just too good to not use for my everyday work. So try that, sign up, you get that tool recommendation. Now, let me give you some homework. Okay, we're at the end of our talk here. Homework. Get on this AI bandwagon, and I mean now. Okay, we are behind in so many ways and ahead in so many ways. But we're gonna get a flood of these things out. Start using and pay for something. You could do the free versions. You can only get by so much with it, right? ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude. And then, yeah, I'll show the QR code at the end again, Christy, but I just sent the link in if you want to just click on that link and go to it. And do your research, play around with it, ask it to do your work, right? Really start asking it to do your work. Get really lazy and test it. Because I was starting to get like, all right, let me test this thing. How far can it go? And not only did it go as far as I thought it could go, but it went beyond what I expected. And it's going to get better and better. And find a general agent tool like Manus or other. ChatGPT paid also has an agent tool. I don't like it as much. It takes longer, um, but your mileage will vary. And obviously things will change over time. And it's such a pain in the butt to have different tools, right? I mean, I have so many different AI tools now, and you're like, oh, what do I do for video? What do I do for this? You want one tool can do everything. Chat is the closest thing to that. Manus is also pretty damn close to that. So I just bounce between the two. Um, Experiment. I know you're real estate agents. You don't have time for this, but you better make time, because if you don't experiment with these tools and products, you're going to be left behind, right? They're changing. They're at various states of maturity. I mean, we've been playing with tools for 2 years now, but they're getting better and better. And you have to retrain yourself. Retrain how you do work on your computer. Don't move your mouse around and click buttons anymore. You could start to talk to the computer now. And I mean talk like chatting or even talking, speaking to it. But keep learning, join these webinars, get more ideas, and share these ideas with others. I'm actually blown away what it can do. And thank you. I'm going to leave it for questions. I know I've been trying to answer questions as we go, but this is the first time talk about this topic and really just sharing with you my learnings. All right. What else? Thank you. You're welcome. Here's the QR code for the free tools, free Manus credits. Any other questions? I saw something. What makes your blogs GEO searchable? Yeah, that's a big topic. You know, the way these GEO means generative uh, engine optimization. So it's different than SEO in a way. SEO just makes your content Googleable. GEO makes your content searchable with Chat GPT and other large language models. All their models are different. Perplexity, Gemini, Chat, but they're also the same. They look for authority. So they try to find to understand, uh, is this topic an authority, right? Is it credible? And the algorithms they use are kind of a black box. But in general, if a lot of people are linking to your content and a lot of people connect to Highnote's content because people think it's credible, well, they give it a ranking. And if your blog is considered ranking or that article is considered credible based on their algorithms, it's going to show it up. And so Highnote is, next generation interactive buyer and listing presentation tool. So if you go search for, hey, give me some great listing presentation tools out there, Chat and all the LLMs are going to surface and say Highnote's one of them, right? So I hope that answers your question. 500 credits. I don't know, 500,000. The other day, I tested it. I referred it to an account. It said 1,000. You got 1,000. I don't know, but try it. It is what it is. You get 500 or 1,000. What do you post? Any other question? What do you post your rentals when renting out? So in San Francisco, we just posted to the MLS. It all syndicates out to all of the major places, but Zillow Rentals is obviously one of the best places that uh, clients and renters look. But we didn't do anything special other than post the MLS. We luckily our MLS syndicates out. You're given 1,500 credits. Wow, yeah, Jen. I think you get 500 for signing up, but 1,000 if you click this link. So I think it's like 1,500 total. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Awesome. Try it out, Jen, and let us know how it went. Any other questions, comments? We're going to do another series because there are many, many other tools I did not cover. Maybe we'll do in more advanced topics. I'm not sure. But there's video AI, there's creating avatars. Um, I've been using another personal assistant AI called Lindy.ai. There's so many things. We're doing chatbots on websites. We're doing email automation, things that will answer emails or triage your inbox. We use Fixer.ai for that. So maybe we could do a part two. I'm not sure, but cool. Yeah, we're gonna get this sent out to everyone. And oh, by the way, I used an AI presentation builder for this. So instead of Google Slides and PowerPoint, I used a tool called Gamma.app. And the way we built these slides was we really just, for mostly, we just told it what to build. And I said, I just chatted with them like, hey, make a slide about your homework, getting on the bandwagon now. And then, I told it what to put in there, and it just generated this thing. I obviously tweaked it, but it saved me a ton of time in building these slides. So if you're really into this, Gamma is a good one. Canva AI, Canva Pro, the Pro edition, I hear is just incredible in the time savings that it could do with AI and building graphic designs and graphics for you guys, and presentations as well. And of course, Highnote. Highnote's a great way to just win listings and buyers. So give that a shot and try. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you, Christy. Okay, signing off. Thanks, everyone.